Now ready to begin adding our graphics. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to find a font that seems to match the La Habra logo font. So we're going to come back here. We're going to this time go to 1001 free fonts, my favorite font search engine. I know I'm looking for a serif typeface, so I'm going to click there. That should pull it up. Begin scrolling down, and I know that Collegiate gets the closest to the La Habra LH logo typeface. So I'm going to go ahead and download Collegiate here. Taking a moment. There we go. I'm going to expand that, and I'm interested in all the TTF, True Type fonts. So I'm going to select all of them, Command O to open, and it's already installed. Nope, it's already installed on my computer, so I don't need to hit install. You probably will need, so I'm going to skip all this because I've already got it. There we go. Alright, so I have the La Habra font. I'm going to click on the type tool, and this I want to run behind their heads. So I'm going to go to where they are. There they are. I'm going to click on the drop shadow here, and I'm going to stick the type right in between these two layers. I want it to be centered behind their heads, so that's roughly centered on the image. Click there, and I'm going to type Highlander Pub. Alright, that's set. Click on the move tool here. I'm coming back to my kind of type pop-up menu here. I'm going to find Collegiate, so it's under C. Whoops. Collegiate, and I'm going to take Collegiate Black. Perfect. Color, I want it to be white. Perfect. Size is going to be, let's work with 150 for now. The alignment should be centered. Perfect. And I'm going to take a look at my options for the typography. Let's come over to our type properties. Let's see what we have available here. There we go. Type options. Currently it's on small caps because that's what the font is. I'm going to go ahead and go all caps here. A little bit hard to read back there, so I'm going to raise it up a little bit. That looks pretty good. I like the fact that their heads are overlaying the font. We can make that a little bit bigger because we still got some room on the right and the left hand side. So I'm going to put this at 170 point. Let's see what that looks like. A little bit too close to the edges, so let's go 160. Perfect. Okay. Now on the sides where the white is on a dark background, easy to read. In the center where the light is, that's hard to read. So we're going to add what's called a layer style to this to give it a drop shadow. So we'll come up to layer, layer style, drop shadow, and we're going to take a look at the options for the drop shadow. So the light is coming from all over the place here, so I'm actually just going to put the drop shadow at 90 degrees. The way it looks like the light's coming from the top. Okay, the size refers to how soft the edge is. So look at how soft that gets. I'm going to set that to about 35. Perfect. The spread kind of moves the hard edge of that closer to the outer soft edge. So you can see, make that pretty dark. I'm going to set the spread to about 5. Let's say 8. That's fine. And then the distance is how far away the shadow gets from the letters. So let's put it at about 50. There we go. Okay, the blending mode is currently multiply, which is perfect for a shadow. I can easily read it now because that nice dark drop shadow, and their heads stand in front of it, so that works perfectly for me. Alright, so the next thing that I need is for my slogan or tagline. So that I want to overlay on a graphic, and we're going to create that graphic in Adobe Illustrator. Alright, we are ready to do Illustrator. So I want a new file. I'm going to make up my own custom file size. We'll call this poster graphic. There we go. Okay, and we know that our width is 24 inches. We know that our height is 18 inches. So that's what I'm doing, 18 by 24. That should make it horizontal. CMYK color is great. All the rest of this looks great. So I hit create. Okay, here's my Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle from one side to the other. Roughly about this size. Okay, so with the move tool I can move it up and down. I'm just trying to make sure it fits on that side. I'm going to take the direct selection tool, the white one. That selection tool allows me to click and drag to select the 2 anchor points. It's important to understand what an anchor point is. This is an anchor point. This is not an anchor point. This little dot right here is for making the corners curved, which isn't what I want. This is the anchor point that I want. So when I click and drag a selection marquee around those 2 anchor points right there, those 2 anchor points are what's selected. So when I try to move them, which is what I'm going to do right now, click and drag that, both of those anchor points move together. But because I did not select these 2 anchor points, they stay put. So this is the ribbon that I'm creating. That's part 1. Okay, ribbon number 1. Then I want to create another ribbon that's going to go on top of that. Okay, so I need to come to the rotation tool, click and hold. I'm going to switch to the reflect tool, and this is where I'm going to double click. I'm going to double click directly on the reflection tool. That brings up this window right here. I want to reflect it along the vertical axis, but I want to make a copy. So currently it's reflecting the original. I don't want that. I just want a copy of it. So I'm going to click copy, and that's what we have. We have this lovely secondary copy, and I'm going to move up in a straight line, and I'm going to match the corners. There we go. So I've matched the 2 corners. Okay, I'm going to repeat this part of the ribbon up here. So I'm going to hold down the Option and the Shift key I'm going to click and drag this guy until I match those corners there. Perfect. So there's my ribbon. Now I need to do some coloration to make the ribbon look good. So none of these should have an outline, so I'm going to go to the outline, I'm going to get rid of it. Now they're all filled with white, which is going to make them hard to see, but we're going to change the color of them right now. I'm going to select this first one here, and you can kind of see where they are just by moving your mouse around. I'm going to select this first one. I'm going to choose the gradient tool, and I'm just going to click on here with the gradient tool. That's going to fill that particular ribbon with a gradient, and it's currently black and white. I don't want that. I'm going to change it in a moment by double clicking on this white dot here. So that's the color of the starting gradient. Double click, that opens this up. To mix in CMYK, we're going to choose 100% cyan, 40% magenta, and 15% black. That's going to give us something close to the Le Havre blue. Then on this side, where the black is, we're double click there. We're going to go 100% cyan. We're going to go 50% magenta. And we're going to go 40% black. Okay, so these gradients look very similar, or these colors look very similar, but it's getting darker directly underneath this. And that's what I want. I want it to get darker as it goes beneath this other piece of the ribbon. Okay, that gradient looks pretty good. I'm going to select this next item here. So I want to select that one. Click the gradient tool again, and I'm just going to click on that part of the ribbon. Now I've got the gradient tool up again. This time, for the part that's on top, I don't want it to be dark over here. I actually want it to just be what our original blue was. So that's going to be 100, 40, 0, 15. Well, that looks the same all the way through. Why use a gradient? Well, we're going to add a lighter color to the center part here. Okay, there's kind of the center. I'm going to double click, and I'm going to lighten this. So I'm going to pull back the magenta to about, say, 15, maybe 10. I'm going to pull back this black to about 0, and the cyan can stay at 100%, or I can pull that back to about 80, and it'll be nice and bright. There we go. Okay, so we've got kind of Le Havre blue on the outsides, this nice bright in the middle. Let's grab our selection tool and select the last of the ribbons. It's that one. This time I want the gradient to be just like that one. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to select the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click on that, so it gives me that gradient again. The only problem is it's traveling in the wrong direction, so we're going to be able to redraw it from start to finish here. Let's see how this goes. Draw it in that direction. What does it look like? That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. So there's our ribbon graphic. We're going to copy this piece by piece into Photoshop because part of it's going to go behind them, part of it's going to go in front of them. So I'm going to take this one, copy it, go to Photoshop, this part's going to go behind them, so I can paste it there. I'm going to leave it as a smart object so I can edit it. There we go. There's There's that one. That's going to travel behind them. Put that at their legs. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Illustrator, select the middle one, copy, Photoshop, paste. On Photoshop. Oh, I want to be on top of that one. Sorry, I'm going to go above them this time. Which I need to go above this curves adjustment layer. Okay. Boom. Paste. Smart object again. There it is. Okay. Bring that down to line up. There's the second one. Maybe that needs to come in front of the lights. Okay with the behind the fog. There we go. So that's the second one, and then the third one, if we go back to Adobe Illustrator, select that one, copy, back to Photoshop. Again, that one's coming behind them, so I'm going to click on the original vector object. I'm going to hit paste again. Smart object. Perfect. Alright, and now I'm going to move that up behind them. And now they're surrounded by that graphic. Perfect. I love it. Okay, we are now ready to do our final graphic editing, and that's going to be the text. I want it to say Outfitters of Champions. Alright, perfect. But that font is the font for this logo, so that's not going to work. I need a different font. So we go back to 1001 free fonts. This time I'm going to look for a sans serif font. There we go. Come on, sans serif. There it is. I want something that's upper and lowercase. I really like this Bebas New, but it's all uppercase. So I'm going to keep looking. I want something condensed, but thick. No. Maybe Roboto, but I'm going to keep going. Come on. Nothing hollow. Maybe Helvetica, that could work. Sure, why not? It's not particularly condensed. I should find another one. Condensed allows you to fit more words in a small space, so you want to make sure that what you choose works. Alright, I think it shows Oswald, so we're going to go ahead and download that guy. Nice and thick, nice and condensed, upper and lowercase. Alright, it downloaded, so click on Oswald to expand it. There it goes. Okay, select only the TTF stuff. This text file is a license, so I just want the TTF. Command O to open. And once again, apparently I've already downloaded this font, so I'm going to skip. You hit install. Okay, now we're back in Photoshop. I want this text to be Oswald, so go ahead and start typing Oswald. Go. And I want the, ooh, that looks pretty darn good. I'm going to click on that one. Currently it says it's all caps, so I'm going to change that so I can actually see what it looks like in upper and lower case. Rotate it. so that the baseline matches up with the baseline of the graphic I put in here. I'll rotate, there we go. Perfect. Alright. So I like it. That gives me something easy to read. And now I'm going to add another layer style. Go, layer, style. This time I'm going to choose outer glow. I'm going to choose black for the outer glow. Screen is hiding the black, so I need to change it to overlay or multiply. I'm going to choose multiply here. Now I'm starting to see it. I'm going to raise the opacity a bit here. Raise the size. There's my poster. Alright, we're going to save that right now. Now we're going to prepare to turn this guy in. I need the Highlander Hub logo on here somewhere, so we're going to show that. Oops, I buried it all the way at the bottom, so I'm going to move that all the way to the top. There we go. I'm going to make it an appropriate size. Because it's ugly, I'm making it nice and small. There we go. Alright, that is a done poster. Command S to save. There we go, we're saving. The last step is to save a copy. You can call it poster practice. Great. And we're going to change this to JPEG to turn it in. I'm going to pay attention to where I save it. It's under finished work. Finals for upload is where I have my stuff. So I'm going to save that there. And you are done. Congratulations.